Okay, welcome everybody. How are we doing today? It's great to be here at the Dolphinger in the studio of Braylyn Stewart. Where's Braylyn? Over here. Let's give it up for him in his studio. As you can tell, he's one of the great muralists in our city and is helping channel a lot of people's energy to putting beautiful art on the sides of buildings and other places here in our city. He has his understudy with him here today as well, so we appreciate that. So, Braylyn, thanks, man. Appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to hear from a bunch of council folks here today, so thank you all for coming and supporting this tremendous cause that we have here with us today. As we all know, and we're singing to the choir here, that the arts in so many ways reflect the soul of our city. Any city that you go to. And some cities are kind of dull, other cities are really kind of lively. We're one of those lively cities that loves getting after it every time we can. While we're celebrating and pushing more with our arts, also tourism is really on the rise in our city in a significant way. Last year we had 24 million tourist visits. That's going to continue with urbanism, the new convention center coming on. So we really have an opportunity, obviously, as tourism grows and as arts grows, to amplify both. What you're seeing here today is a gathering both around innovation and equity, and a bunch of folks here that have used arts for a long period of time as a way to transform the way that we communicate with each other and that we believe in the future of our city as well. So that's why earlier this year, after a year and a half of hard work by a lot of folks, and many of y'all here in this room, we launched Imagine Greater Louisville 2020, an arts and culture vision to transform the entire region. We all know it's an ambitious plan, but it's dedicated to answering one critical question. And that question is, how can arts and culture best serve this entire community, with entire in caps and underlined? Every street, every zip code, every person. And so the plan is designed to support and complement the strategic and comprehensive plans of a lot of other organizations that are already working in this area. So organizations like Louisville Metro Government, JCPS, Greater Louisville Inc., One Southern Indiana, the Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau, Southern Indiana CVB is also involved, the Arts and Culture Alliance, Louisville Urban League, and of course the Greater Louisville Project. So when we take a look at arts and we take a look at our city, you've got to look at the whole city. And we've got to celebrate all of those wonderful things that we've got going on, but we also have to take a look at the challenges that we have in our city and ask ourselves, how can we use the arts to bridge some of these gaps that we have? So they could be public safety challenges, challenges that we have around health, making sure that every child shows up at kindergarten ready to compete with kids that have all of the resources. It's very timely post-Charlottesville. How do we use arts to have discussions around overcoming discrimination, prejudice, making sure that we're pushing forward to make sure everybody does in fact have equal opportunity in our society, and then of course economic opportunity as well. We're having great momentum in our city from a kind of big picture standpoint, $11 billion of construction, all this going on, low unemployment, high education attainment, but the question is everybody along for the ride? So how do we make sure we use the arts to make sure that everybody is moving forward with us? So the Imagine Greater Louisville plan is going to be one of our key strategies for this. It lays out a role for each and every one of us, from government, from business, artists, cultural organization, and then defines specific priorities, strategies, and actions that will get us to where we want to grow as a city. And that's what I said earlier, a place where everybody is realizing their full human potential. And that just doesn't happen. I mean, it has got to be full of action, and that's, of course, how we define compassion here in our city, that each and every person is respected so their human potential is flourishing. Thomas Merton said we all look at each other shining around like the sun, and if it was 1958, Thomas Merton would be in this room celebrating this announcement here with us today as well. So all that is a way to set the stage for the announcement that I'm pleased to announce $500,000 in funding to help bring the initiatives in the Imagine Greater Louisville 2020 to life. So the city, through your all's dollars and my office and the Metro Council, approved an investment of $250,000 with an additional $250,000 coming from the Jennifer Lawrence Arts Fund at the Fund for the Arts and that's going to help with the vision and priorities laid out in the plan. So the $250,000 from the government is your all's money, but the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation and her family, Meredith and team here, have been such a instrumental group to help transform and really help us look at art in a whole different way. I love your all's focus on equity, underserved neighborhoods, and it really is all coming together with what we're doing here today. So let's say thank you to Jennifer and Meredith. Thank you. Great job. So the question is, what are we going to do with these funds? And this is really where the fun part comes in. Imagine Greater Louisville 2020 is issuing a competitive call for proposals to implement the vision and priorities laid out in the plan. On the table is $250,000 in grants, with a portion of these dollars allocated to fund small projects less than $5,000, and the remaining funds will be supporting larger projects. So we need to get everybody involved, and we'd like to hear suggestions from every part of our community and tell us how we can leverage our arts and culture resources to help our region grow and compete and maximize opportunities for everybody. The more creative, the better. And you can find more information at imaginegreaterlouisville.org and begin submitting proposals now, with that good work to begin in early 2018. We'll be holding informational sessions to talk more about this on Wednesday, September 6th at 6 p.m. at the California Community Center, and on Thursday, September 7th at 9:30 a.m. at the Southwest Regional Library. And I invite anybody who's interested to please come and ask questions and join the conversation. So this effort is the result of a lot of folks coming together, so I'd like to thank all the members of the Greater Louisville Steering Committee for bringing this plan to life. A special thank you to Marianne Wiederwall over here and the Louisville Forward team for your all's leadership and development. Thank you. Kristen Boone has been super low-key in the background, but she has been the glue that has kept pushing this thing forward. So Kristen, thank you. I love our team at the Fund for the Arts. I mean, you guys are just kind of getting it done and moving it forward all throughout the city. So for your entire team, thank you guys as well. Let's hear it for the team at the Fund for the Arts. See Penny and Roger hanging out here together. You guys have been great leaders on this project, so on a lot of different things, but thanks again for stepping up for us. Let's give it up for these guys over here. So this is fun, and there's going to be a lot more fun coming from it as well as we see all these different projects coming out. So I want to thank the council also for participating. Council President David Yates just walked in, so thank you, Mr. President. And now we're going to hear from Marianne Butler from the council. Councilwoman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Fischer. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of the council and my council members. There's only 4 of us here, but there were 26 of us that thought this was important enough that it needed to be in the budget. So you need to thank all 26 members. We worked definitely as a team on this, because we know we are fortunate to live in a city that's got a world-class arts and cultural environment. We want to make sure that it thrives. We want to make sure that the youth out there know there are so many ways to express themselves that you need to just look inside and see whether you want to be an artist, whether you want to play a musician, whether you want to do whatever it is. There's the opportunity out there. So we wanted to make sure that was there, because in this budget, we put a lot of money in there. Public safety, housing, things, but we need to have a holistic budget. So that's what we did. We put money in there to make sure it was holistic and everyone could reach inside. It's to inspire the students and to spur economic development and advance cultural tourism. So those are the things we did. This public-private partnership is just really great. It's something that allows your government dollars to go further. We look for these types of opportunities because that's how we really grow as a city. So we're very pleased that you're doing this, and with the support of Mayor Fischer and my fellow council members, we thank the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation for this really investment in our community. And with that, I turn it over to Meredith Lawrence. Thank you.
I want to thank Councilwoman Butler, Mayor Fischer, and everyone who put their hearts into bringing the Imagine Greater Louisville 2020 plan to life. When we started the Jennifer Lawrence Arts Fund just last year, we really wanted to create something that would support and positively impact this community. We began the fund to promote, support arts access, education, and excellence. And today we have an excellent opportunity to do that by investing in Imagine Greater Louisville 2020. I'm sorry. We're thrilled to leverage the dollars from the Jennifer Lawrence Arts Fund for collective action projects and opportunities identified by the steering committee after this initial round of funding. So on behalf of Jennifer and the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation, I'm pleased to share with you how proud she is to propel this community through our support of the arts, and just want to thank everyone. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our host today and local artist, Braylyn Stewart.
Thank you all for joining me here in my office, which really is my studio. It's humbling to have you all in my studio, and as we join our voices together and announce a major step for both our artistic community and the community as a whole. I had the privilege of attending DuPont Manual in the Visual Arts Department, but frankly, most of my education came from after I graduated and I was really an artist in the streets. I can tell you that there is so much potential talent in Louisville. I'm beyond excited. So many diverse interests are coming together to support our arts and our cultural community and leverage our creative skills to better our city, which many of them are in here hiding amongst us. I see a lot of great artists in here. Imagine what a student from this neighborhood and any other neighborhood could gain from the experience he or she has, the opportunity to train and learn and with an artist after school, not just once a year, but once a week. We can provide a safe, positive environment, empower the children with the 21st century skills like critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. I, for one, will be submitting a proposal, and am grateful for the mayor and Metro Council for the opportunity. And I am calling to my fellow creatives to join me. If you're an individual, a group, or an organization, go to imaginegreaterlou.com, .org, and submit a proposal to help the region grow, compete, thrive, and solve community problems. Lastly, please welcome our co-chairs for the Imagine Greater Louisville Steering Committee, Roger Cude and Penny Peavler. Thank you.
This is fun. I was just telling Penny, we can't stand up here alone. We have to stand together. We are co-chairs, and as I walked in, I mentioned to Braylon, I said, half joking, I said, your studio will never be the same. And he looked at me and said, that's right. I hope in many ways that it'll never be the same because of the exposure and the thoughts he shared were the powerful thoughts that we want to really engage with the graciousness of the mayor's office and the Metro Council and the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation for the investments that they've made. And I want you to know, I speak for Penny and the steering committee, that we take this very seriously about the diversity, about the ability to help artists, but also about helping to create change in our community by really focusing on the common denominators that we have, and that is around art and the appreciation of art and the inspiration of the arts and so forth. We have a lot of great things going on. The subcommittees are very energized as we've been meeting. They're very energized in their work, and we've already started to see some great benefits from this, including Hadley's Creatives and the Alley Gallery. Say that 3 times really fast. But we're seeing things, and it's a lot of alignment of great work that's already going on, and we hope to accelerate that as we look at the investments.
Great. Roger and I are also grateful to Mayor Fischer, to the Metro Council. Thank you, council members, and of course to the Jennifer Lawrence Arts Fund. Meredith and the Lawrence family have become great friends to us at the Fraser Museum through the Hunger Games, the exhibition, and the fundraiser we've been doing, The Power of One, where a percentage of ticket sales goes back to the foundation for this work that they're doing. So you can see that these dollars are staying in the community. I also would like to specifically call attention and thank the Fund for the Arts, for stepping up to be the champion and lead this plan. I want to thank Kristen Boone, just really from the bottom of my heart, because I have been involved in the arts in Louisville for the past 30 years, working in the arts in different capacities. And it really takes a champion and an organization to drive a plan. When you write a plan, you have to work on that plan every single day if you want to make incremental progress. And I just want to give personal credit to Kristen Boone and her team for taking on this role, for expanding the impact of the Fund for the Arts to affect not only arts, but also culture. I see Joe Haas here. So this is about the Science Center, this is about the zoo, this is about the Fischer Museum, this is about all the great arts and culture that we have in this community. And I just want to take a minute and say thank you. There are 5 priorities of our master plan, and we have some posters on the wall here behind you. They are access, cultivation, education, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and promotion. Each of these priorities has specific strategies and action items surrounding them. And this is where the rubber meets the road. But it's also where the fun goes into funding, because we don't know what ideas people in the community are going to come up with to achieve these action steps. Some of them are very specific, but some of them are open-ended, so that who knows what you're going to come up with, and I can't wait to see, and many, many, many. And so that is the opportunity that we have. So please help us by going to imaginegreaterlou.org, reading the plan, reading those strategies and those 56 action steps, and then thinking about how those can come to life in your own neighborhood in which you live. What do you want to see happen in this community? And then go get partnered up with somebody and make it happen. I can tell you we're so excited at the Fischer Museum about thinking about the stories that we share with our actors and teaching artists, and looking at how we can take those actors and storytellers into nursing homes and senior housing communities, and how can we not only present presentations there, but engage residents in storytelling projects of their own. There's no limit to what we can think of. We just have to take the step and start. And together we have to work on this plan every day. And at the end of 5 years, we'll see that there's much work ahead of us, but there'll be much work behind us. So we invite everybody in this room and everybody that you know to get involved, to come up with an idea or support somebody in these ideas. On behalf of our steering committee and the Metro Council and the Mayor's office and everybody here, we want to thank you for your support. Thank you for being a part of this project, and thanks for coming today.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro government.